My topic today is when animals attack. Today, we are going to touch on 5 different animals that are likely to attack you in the state of Minnesota: cougars, venomous snakes, moose, bears, and dogs. A common myth about cougar encounters is that if you see a mountain lion, you should run away. This is not advised for a couple of reasons. So if you start running in front of a cougar, it is going to chase you. Its hunting instincts will be kicked in. Instead, what you should do is very similar to what Noah said, but with less P. If you see the lion, you should first back away slowly. Just get out of its way, hope it's not hungry or annoyed by you. If it starts to approach you, then you want to be large and shout and try and scare it off. Most importantly, you never want to do anything that indicates that you are smaller, such as crouching. So if you have kids with you or, your little rat dog, you need to try and pick that boy up without crouching over, because otherwise the cougar will come in. If a cougar actually goes in for a swipe, you should attack for your life. Aim for vulnerable areas such as the eyes. All right, venomous snake bites. These are the 2 venomous snakes found in Minnesota, the timber rattlesnake and the Massasauga. What is a common myth that you've heard about snake bites, Jacob?
You suck out the venom.
Yes, that is the most common myth, and that is a myth that will make you dead, folks. Fact, now you have venom in your blood and in your mouth, so you're twice as stupid. Instead, if you encounter a snake that has bitten you, your first job should be to get away from the snake. Another myth that people sometimes hear is that you should try and catch the snake so that you can identify it. Waste of your time. Don't do it. Instead, try to keep an eye on what color it is and what size it is, because that can help you once you get to a hospital identify it. You want to keep the bitten area still, and you actually want to let it bleed for a little bit before you do anything like cleaning it or bandaging it, because some of that venom is going to leave naturally through bleeding. Absolutely do not suck out the venom, you idiots, and do not tourniquet your body part. People also have heard that myth that if you tourniquet it, it's going to keep the blood from traveling elsewhere in the body. No, it's just going to make it more likely that they have to amputate your arm. And most snake bites are very treatable. So totally not necessary. Don't do it. A moose charge. So, how many of you have ever seen a moose in person? They're really fucking big, right? So, the common myth with moose is that they're just going to leave you alone and they're not that dangerous. This is kind of true. You're far more likely to hit a moose with your car and die that way than die from a moose deciding they don't like you and making an attack. But it can happen. So though most moose-related deaths involve that vehicle, it can and will mess you up should he or she feel so inclined. So if you are on the wrong side of a moose, there's a couple of things you need to know. First, you should try and back away slowly and get behind something where the moose can no longer see you. He's more likely to move on than anything else. However, if for some reason the moose does attack, such as it feels that you are threatening its food, space, or children, they're going to try and knock you down. That's the first thing that they're going to do. If a moose does knock you down, take that fire safety training from elementary school, tornado drills, put your hand over your neck and back of your head to protect your most vital pieces, and tuck your knees to your chest to protect vital organs. Most likely the moose is just going to knock you down and kick you a few times and then move on. So stay still, let the moose think it's won, and don't move. So the moose is going to stay around in the area for a while. Just stay still as long as you can. If possible, if you're hiking with a backpack or that sort of thing, you also want to place the backpack in a way that's protecting those most vital areas on your body. Bear brawls. So, a lot of people have heard that if a bear attacks, you should play dead. This is mostly a myth. It is a step in surviving a bear attack, but it's not always useful. So Again, as with all large animals, your first step should be to slowly back away. You never want to turn your back on any of these animals. You just want to move out of their space, because ideally they're going to see you as non-threatening. If relevant, you should intimidate by being loud and large. So what do I mean by if it's relevant? Well, grizzly bears, if you act loud and large to a grizzly bear, they're going to take that as a challenge and they're going to fuck you right up. So do not attempt to intimidate and never make eye contact with a grizzly bear. You can tell it's a grizzly bear because of the larger size, the shoulder hump, and those short round ears. They're typically much larger, but color is not enough to know, because black bears can also be in shades of brown depending on the breed and type of year. Black bears, they're a lot less territorial. So if a black bear starts to approach you after you've already started backing away, then you can try and intimidate it by being large and loud. If that doesn't work and one of these bears makes a swipe at you and makes contact, that is when you would be playing dead. If they've come charged at you, they've hit you, fall down, pretend that you died, and it's over. However, if the bear continues to attack, you should fight for your life. Try to get away, go for sensitive areas like the eyes, nose, and attack that way. And finally, dogs. I have pictures of 3 different dogs on here. One is the dog breed that is most likely to bite you. One is the dog breed that is most likely to kill you if it bites you. And one is the dog breed that attacked me and put me in the hospital. Do you guys have any guess on which is which? You can make one guess at a time.
Chihuahua is all 3.
All right, so that dog on the top is a Chow Chow, and I was attacked by a Chow Chow when I was, I think, like 6 or 7-ish. I still have the scars. I could show you them sometime. It bit through my nose and my forehead across my face. So it cut right through my nose. Actually, I had to get my nose stitched back together. And it looked really dangerous because, of course, any head wound bleeds a lot. Chihuahuas are the most likely dogs to bite you. This is largely because no one respects their space, let's be honest. But a pit bull bite is the most likely to cause damage. So the myth is that pet dogs aren't a danger to you and they're not wild. They definitely can be dangerous and can attack you in all sorts of situations. They can be food defensive, they can be defensive of their pups, they could be loose and scared. Really, all sorts of different things can trigger a dog to attack a person. If a dog does attack you, again, stay calm, stay still, do not make eye contact, and do not run. If you start running, that dog is going to increase its aggression, either because it thinks you are a danger or because it just thinks it's playing and having fun with you. So staying still is the best thing you can do. If you really do think the dog is about to bite you and is going to be in danger, try and put a barrier between you and that dog. Carry your purse in front of all of your vital organs, keep your limbs up and away, that sort of thing. And if the dog has stopped moving, you can start to slowly back away, but don't turn your back on the dogs. Again, turning your back on an animal or starting to run are all of those things that are going to trigger those hunting instincts, and that's what we want to avoid in kind of any animal encounter. Ta-da! Okay, Jonas?
I also had a question about the bear. So you said if it continues to attack you, you should fight for your life. But what if you don't want to live at that point?
Then it's really up to you, but you also have to acknowledge that there's consequences beyond yourself. For example, that bear would likely get in trouble with the law and they may put it in jail, and your parents would probably miss you.